In this video, I will be showing how you can survive every single monster in Big Scary from level 1 to 16. Before we start, I just want to say that you can actually outrun every single monster, depending on how fast you can move your arms. But this is more of a speedrunning purpose, so that you don't have to run in a direction that you don't want to run, and you could just go around them. First, we have level 1, which has one monster. And honestly, if you run into him, I think you should just restart your run, because he's so big that you can't go around him, you can't jump over him. It's impossible to actually get past him. The only way you could actually technically get past him is if you go to a big area like this, and then just run around him and run to the exit. Next is level 2, which also has one monster. This level is one of the easier levels since all you have to do is press the 4 buttons in the 4 corners. But if he's chasing you and you don't want to run from him or you're too slow, you could pinch climb the pillars that are surrounding the whole entire map. Or you can go to one of the corners and just wall climb. Or you can just jump off of the wall and go over his head. Next is level 3, which also has one monster, and it is very similar to level 1. You can't go above the monster or around the monster. Basically, if you see it, you just have to run away to a safe zone or just run and try to find the exit or the wheel, whatever you're looking for. And there's no big areas like level 1 that you can actually just go around the monster. You just have to run, so it's pretty much impossible to get past this monster. Next is level 4, which also has one monster, and it's obviously one of the easiest levels in the game. It has to be the easiest level in the game, actually. All you have to do is not go in the green or blue slide and go in the yellow slide. But if you do go in the green or blue slide, you can't really avoid it. You have to die, and then you have to go in the yellow slide, because if you go down there, there's no way back up. You just have to die. Next is level 5, which also has one monster, and there's actually no way to get past this monster. If you run into him, you just have to turn around and run to the safe zone, or just run to one of the buttons or the exit, wherever you need to go. It's probably one of the reasons why this level is so hated, because you can't get past this monster, and the map is pretty big, so you have no clue where you're going, and there's a lot of dead ends, so you're pretty much gonna die. Next is level 6, which has one monster, but technically two monsters if you count the before and after form. Basically, if you want to avoid this monster, you could just go into the safe zones in the house, you can go on top of the house, or you can pinch climb the many pillars that are around this map. You can actually just go in circles around this monster because he's really slow, but the whole entire point of this monster is to intimidate you by its speed, but it's really easy to outrun, so this monster is pretty easy to avoid. Next is level 7, which has two monsters. They're both pretty hard to avoid since they're fast and there's two of them, but if you're both on low ground, you can climb up and avoid them. You can pinch climb, you can wall climb. If you just get on high ground while they're on low ground, it's going to take them a while to get there. But it's not suggested you go from high ground to low ground, because they could just drop down with you. You can also go to a wall and jump over their head, but that isn't really suggested since they'll still be on your trail. Next is level 8, which has one monster. This monster is pretty easy to avoid because this whole map is filled with trees, and you can just pinch climb the tree high enough so that the monster leaves. But in the center of the map, there's this brick staircase thing, and if you just go onto that, the monster can't get up there. You could also go on top of the exit, and he can't get you there either, but the best method is just to climb the trees. Next is level 9, which has 3 different type of monsters, but there's actually a bunch of monsters scattered out through the map. Now for the first type of monsters, there's about 4 of these type of monsters. The best way to avoid these monsters is just to climb the trees or just get on high ground. But these monsters are really slow, so you could actually just run around them. Now for the second type of monster, I'm pretty sure there's only one monster that runs around. This monster is actually pretty fast, so you can outrun him, you can do whatever, but the best method is to still just climb the trees. Just get to high ground and you can avoid this monster. Now for the last monster, there's only one monster, and it's located in the hay maze. It's pretty much the exact same as the first monster, except you don't have as much room to just go around it. So the best way to avoid this monster is to just wall bounce from one wall to another, because he can't get you while you're up there. Next is level 10, which has one monster. This monster is pretty similar to the level 1 and 3 monster because he takes up a lot of space. The best way to avoid this monster is to lure him to the right of you and run upper left. There are also some larger areas that allow you to run around him. Next is level 11, which has 2 monsters, one in the vents and one in the main area. The monster in the vents is exactly like the monster in level 5. You can't go past, so you should either run or go down a vent. You can avoid the monster in the main area by jumping off a wall and going over your head, which is highly suggested, or hiding in a vent. Next is level 12, which has one monster. This monster takes up a lot of space, so it's really hard to get past him. There are a couple large areas that can help you move around him, but your best option is to lure him to the right and run upper left. Next is level 13, which has one monster. This monster isn't very hard to avoid. Although he's fast, you can outrun him and go on top of a rock. Once up there, you can wall bounce past him and run to an eyeball or a safe zone. You can also use the same method we did in level 10 and 12, but it's pretty difficult. Next is level 14, which has one monster. This monster is considered very fast, which is why this level is hated, along with the codes. The best method is to honestly run and try to turn as many corners as you can, as it slows him down. You can do the same method we did in 10, 12, and 13, but this is much more difficult. Next is level 15, which has one monster. This level is relatively easy if you know where all the noses are. I'm not sure if you can get past this monster, so best option is to just run around while getting the noses. Finally is level 16, which has one monster. This monster is extremely easy to avoid. Sure, the monster is extremely fast, but it's 100% possible to outrun him. You can avoid him by going on top of crates, pinch climbing the pillars, going on the roof of the maze, and going behind the fence by the watchtower.